What's up, everybody? It's your boy back with another reaction video, and I will be reacting to what's this? 4 horror stories animated compilation. This is from the channel Quack Tales. So I'm not sure if this is their narrations or they got narration from somebody else from one of those horror narration channels and then just did their own animation for it. So it'll probably be either or, but we gonna find out. So I might have heard some of these already, if that's the case. But anyway, let's get into this. All right, here we go.
One night, I was on the side of the road whilst on patrol, just taking a breather and rejuvenating with a coffee, when I started hearing something. It sounded like there was a vehicle approaching where I was. Then suddenly, this truck zoomed past me, and it was driving erratically. Immediately, I pursued the driver. I believed that it was odd and even suspicious that someone would be on that road that late in frigid November. I suspected the driver of poaching in the backwoods and signaled for him to pull over. He pulled over and I approached the driver. I shined the light on his face. He had blood smeared all over his face.
But this is clearly in Europe.
About the blood, he told me that he had poached and clubbed a deer to death. After this, I inspected his truck. In the back, I found a bloody wrench and scissors. I questioned him further, but was getting a lot of inconsistencies.
I'm surprised he let him smoke.
I decided to arrest him under the Wildlife Act and to investigate his claim of killing an animal inhumanely. I got in contact with a conservation officer who had tracking skills and asked if he would assist in tracking the carcass. He managed to locate tire tracks matching the truck on a road off the highway he was caught on. He traced the tire tracks up the road, and in the freshly fallen snow he found footprints leading into the woods. He tracked the footprints, constantly on the lookout for the deceased deer. What he ended up finding would shock him to the core.
A living deer. A zombie deer. The anticipation is killing me. Oh, it's a human. Ooh.
There laid in the snow the body of a young girl. She had been brutally beaten and even more brutally murdered. Despite being in the snow, the body was actually still warm, which shows just how close we were to catching this guy in the act. He was charged with murder, and I'm hoping that they throw away the key.
The key. The key.
This happened to me a few nights ago. I was taking my dog for his nightly walk. It was a bit of a windy night, otherwise it was pretty standard. I've never had any trouble taking these walks, so I was pretty carefree, and I also allowed my dog to walk without a leash. I've lived in this area for a few years, and at least from my experience, I considered it to be low on the number of weirdos, and it mostly
I
contained
thought the dude was jerking off.
I was continuing to walk when out of nowhere I heard a voice from a man, and they said,
The same.
Would you like a smoke?
He then held out a pack of cigarettes.
Been like, hell no.
I was startled.
Fucking shit up.
I had no idea someone was even there. My dog took an instant disliking to the person. No thanks, I responded. Immediately, he left. I continued on my walk, thinking nothing of the incident. Just some weirdo in the park, nothing more to it. What I didn't realize was that the man was on his way back to me. Not just casually, he was running, and he was quickly catching up to me.
I just remember that Family Guy episode. But it was like fast animals, slow children. Oh shit. The hell is he strangling? He's a contortionist. So his back was.
I awoke. I was very confused. I felt immense pain in my knee, but especially my neck. Thankfully, as soon as I was awake, my dog was there to comfort me.
Didn't even fucking
The
help you.
mysterious man was gone. What did he want? None of my belongings were missing. Why was he strangling me? These questions have been left unanswered. I reported the incident to the police.
You were his first,
Unfortunately,
so
the
that
man
means
was
he
never
was
found. Safe to say,
he
now
wasn't
I
trying to
went
kill
for a
you.
walk.
Or he probably
Correct.
was, but since you were the
Today.
first, he hesitated. So next time he gonna follow through. Learned that from our criminal
A
minds.
couple of years ago, I experienced something I hope I never have to go through again. It started off as a normal morning. My partner was up first and was getting ready for work, whilst I was with our newborn, who was a bit restless. My partner kissed me, left and shut the door, and that's when things started to get unsettling. Whilst resting, I could hear what sounded like footsteps
he's so
coming
wild
down the hall
thrusting.
towards my room, but that did not make any sense. My partner should have left for work already. Maybe he forgot something. I realized suddenly that I could not move, and this wave of impending fear and dread just came over me. He walked in the room towards the wardrobe and stood there facing me and whispered my name. Anna. He said my name again, this time in a sing-song voice. There was pauses, waiting to see if I was going to respond. He sat down on the bed, and I could feel a hand on my thigh. I remember feeling scared for my newborn, because although it sounded like my partner, I just had this nagging feeling that it was not him. Still, I could not move. I wanted to turn and see who it was, but I was frozen still. I could open and close my eyes, but that was it.
Yeah, it's
I
sleep
squeezed my eyes
paralysis.
shut to try and go back to sleep so everything would stop and this thing or person would go away. I think I fell asleep and woke back up, and when I woke up, I could now move, but I was very scared. I was still convinced that there was someone
Night
in
terrors.
the house. I knew my phone was flat, but if it wasn't, I know I would have called the police. Looking back, I now know what I believe actually happened. I believe I experienced sleep paralysis. As bad as that was, it's nowhere near as frightening as the prospect of someone being in the house imitating my partner. Honestly, I prefer the sleep paralysis story.
They should say quack tales every time.
It was Halloween
Michael,
2013.
Goddamn
I was
bite.
16 years old and was trick-or-treating with my 6-year-old nephew in our local town. We had covered about 2 blocks door knocking for treats and were very successful with the amount of treats that we managed to get. We then reached our next destination. This house had no fences and a long, curved driveway which led to the front door. We knocked on the door and I stood back so my nephew could take the lead on this visit. It seemed like nobody was going to answer and we were about to give up when suddenly the door opened. A woman answered the door.
Opened.
She had dark eyes. She had dark, long hair. She was dressed
She
in dark,
smelled like
shaggy
shit.
clothing. She looked like she had had a hard life. She did not say a word after she opened the
It
door.
looked like she had a
In her hand, she
hard
had
life.
a wafer tin.
That's
She
the
just
nicest
stuck it
thing
out
to say
towards
that,
my nephew.
is that she looked
He
like
took
shit.
2 of the wafers. We both said thank you, and the lady just shut the door without saying anything. I couldn't help but feel suspicious about the wafers that the lady gave us, because I had noticed that the chocolate on the inside of the wafer appeared to have been scraped out. I decided to tell my nephew that he could not eat the wafer and that we should wait until we get home, but he wanted to eat it anyway as he wanted to prove me wrong. So I proceeded to test the wafer. I ate the whole wafer.
Why would you eat the whole thing? If you was
What happened
suspicious
next
about
is
it,
a blur, but I recall knocking the wafer out of my nephew's hand and stomping on it. We decided to walk back to my sister's house because immediately after consuming the wafer, I was not feeling right. My body felt stiff and was seizing up. Everything around me seemed to be speeding up. On our way back, there's one thing I'll never forget. I recall seeing a family. There was a mum, dad, and a son. The son was dressed up as Jigsaw from the movie Saw, and it's just something that never left my mind. The boy was just staring at me for a very long time and wouldn't stop staring. As we were getting closer to the house, I started feeling
vampire
things that
bat
only
bit you.
were side effects. I was starting to feel nauseous and there was some odd sensation in my chest where my heart was beating really fast. Felt like there was a bubble in my chest. I realized I was also struggling to control my hands and I was just constantly twitching.
The fuck is ecstasy? The fuck is
Eventually, we got back to the house
LSD?
and my family
Was
members were trying to figure out what had happened. One of
she
my
just
relatives thought maybe the wafer contained marijuana, but that just did not seem right.
yeah,
to me at all.
that's not right. It's not
We
LSD or
decided
something.
the best thing to do was to go to the hospital to find out what was going on. So we got in the car, we made our way there. We did a blood test at the hospital, and it was after this that the doctor had a startling revelation.
You have AIDS.
He would go on and tell us that they found methamphetamine in my system. I was shocked.
I don't know why I didn't think of
What was
meth.
even more shocking was the doctor said it was extremely fortunate that my nephew did not consume any, as it was a dose big enough that I could have killed him.
You ate the whole fucking thing.
Unfortunately, due to the effects of the drug, I just could not pinpoint where the lady lived, so she did in fact get away with it. My takeaway from all of this, and my only piece of advice I will give to you after this story, never accept unwrapped candy from a stranger at Halloween.
Yeah.
Ever.
That's 101. I think that's it. So these are his own stories and his own animation. Cool. Very nice. Go check his channel out. I don't think I've ever seen this guy. I wonder if he's new. But yeah, that last bitch. Somebody need to string her ass up, crucify that bitch. I hate hearing stuff like that. I mean, I've heard that apparently that's never actually happened. Like no kid has ever actually been injured or anything, as far as we know. I mean, there's been no reports about it. As far as like Halloween candy like that. There's been reports of people putting like razor blades and stuff, but not actually the kid biting into it and then cutting their mouth. They find it before, but yeah, you gotta be careful there with that shit. People, there's some scary people out there that do a lot of scary shit for no reason. Like it'd be one thing if they like looked and she was following them or something, but she just did it just to fuck with people, or maybe she thought the amount she put in there would kill kids or something, and then it's just a random crime, so you would have to try to you know retrace the steps of that, and then you're talking about Halloween. Some people go to other neighborhoods of Halloween for the trick or treat, stuff like that. I remember me and my best friend, we took his brother trick or treating. We was like, I think we were like 15, and well, I think I was 15. I think he was 14. My best friend, and we went and like I think maybe like 10 miles away from where he lived at, because where he lived at, and nobody trick or treating over there. So we went to a different neighborhood, and my cousin lived like right down the street, so we like ended up walking down the street anyway, and getting him, and he was like, I was, I think at that time I was 15. I think he was 12. Yeah, I think he was 12, and we got him, and then we went walking in that neighborhood. But I remember telling him, I was like, don't eat none of this candy until we, check it. And I ain't had the 12, my cousin, like he already knew. Like his mother was adamant about it. So he was like, yeah, I already know that. He said, if I eat anything, he was like, my mother see me, because he was right down the street from his house in the neighborhood. So he like, just in case his mama happened to come down there, he be eating the candy and she see him, because she gonna beat his ass. But trying to tell my friend's brother not to do his bad ass, he just kept trying to do it, kept trying. Like, don't eat it till we check it. So then we end up, I think either I checked it, I think I checked it, maybe he did. Maybe we both were doing it, because I wasn't getting any candy, because I'm 15, I don't get any candy, stuff like that. But some white people, we went to some white people's houses, and they were adamant. They're like, come on, you can get candy, come on. They were trying to give everybody candy. And I remember cause we walked up these steps, and I remember tripping. I remember that house because I tripped on these steps. Cause they had kind of like steep steps, and it was a brick house. And I remember the husbands, and you kind of big to be trick or treat, because I had a growth spurt. So I think at that time I was like 5'10". No, I was 15. So I think because my dad's 5'10", I think I was 5'9", because I wasn't quite his height yet. But but I was taller than everyone else there. My other friend, my cousin, and everything. So you kind of big. Plus, I was heavy. I was having a growth spurt, so my weight looked like it's being equally distributed, but I was still heavy. And and I remember his wife, she was like, "Don't say that." I was like, "What's true? Like I'm big." Oh, that was funny. And I think they gave us like those sugar straws, and they gave us some other stuff. but it was quite a bit. They had a bunch of candy. Like they both had bowls, just full, big old bowls full of candy. They was like, yeah, just reach in there and grab. Cause they like, we ain't gonna eat it. And I think the woman, she was like, cause ain't got no good teeth. Oh my god. But yeah, I always check that shit. And that other guy, like I was saying, that guy who chased the guy down and tackled him. They do that on Criminal Minds where they're like, oh, this serial killer. Um, they were like, they retracing his steps of he's killed somebody. That's when they get called in, and he's killed multiple people, and these cases are connected, and they get called in. They said, well, they'll trace it back and find out that their first, well, not the first kill, but the first person they attacked and kind of had the same MO, except they didn't kill the person. They said that was their first, and they were nervous about it, and they ended up either making a mistake and the person got away, or they let the person go, whatever. And then the next time they said, okay, well, I need to do this, make sure that they don't escape, or make sure to do this, or I need to, or maybe they thought like, oh, all I need to do is just hurt them, and this sensation or urge to do this will go away. But then when they do that, they're like, I want more. So then they go all the way and kill them, and then that satisfies them for a little bit, and then they want to do it again, and they want to do it again and do it again, like that. But yeah, this was pretty good video. Yeah, like I said, go check out Quack Tales. He definitely put the name between each story, so it won't forget it. And I'll put the link to the original video in the description. But hope you all enjoyed my reaction. And if you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button down below. Be sure to subscribe if you're new here. Hit that bell if you want to be notified when I upload new videos. Share this video, comment down below, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.